Hey folks, welcome back to Pokémon Y. We're here in one of the 3 Pokémon centers in Lumio City, and last time we received a call from Professor Sycamore telling us that we should head over to the Lysander Cafe, where Team Flare completely coincidentally hangs out. They have nothing to do with Lysander. Don't even imply that they do. So let's go check it out here. Yep, there's our good pal, Sycamore, and our not very good pal, Lysander. Important plot point. So I think we know that Lysander makes them, but I don't think we know where he makes them. Wow, some of the profit from the Holocaster. Wow. A whole sum of it. Alright, so here's another one of Lysander's kind of ideological rants. He divides people into 2 categories, those who give, those who take. No gray area in between, nobody who gives and takes. You know, people are either completely good or completely selfish. And so here, Lysander kind of exhibits an inherent hypocrisy, to use some kind of pretentious terminology. He wants to be the kind of person who gives, and that's kind of why he does the Holocaster, and he donates some of his profits to the development of technology. But he wants to take away the ability of those who take, in his view. He wants to wash the world clean of that era's filth and of the perceived evil actions of other people. Basically, he wants to take away the rights of others if he doesn't agree with them. And, you know, you can disagree with them, you can kind of change their minds, but I think he's towing a dangerous line there and kind of ending up on the wrong side of the dichotomy. Yes, that's what his hair implies. True fact. Alright, so let's talk to the patrons of the Lysander Cafe. None of these folks look like Team Flare members. They don't have crazy red hair. Although this one seems to be sympathetic. This worries me, though. For some reason, this lady wants to gather 5 million Poké-Dollars for Lysander. I don't know if that's to buy something, or if she's in debt, or something, but that's really concerning. That's really, really worrying. But let's purge that from our minds and get moving to our next destination, which Trevor will helpfully remind us of. Hi there. So the gang's meeting on Route 14, which we saw the exit for as we were exploring Lumios a couple episodes back. So let's head on over. Which way is... Okay, that's a tower, so we go this way. Now I want to remind you of just the... I pointed this out before, but just poor design decision here. When you're riding your bike, the camera doesn't allow you to see the number on top of a route exit. So if you want to know, this guy will say it out loud. That's really annoying and awkward. Poor design decision. Anywho, let's talk to some folks real quick. And this is Route 14, Lever Nature Trail. No fancy French this time. Just a nature trail. And playground for some reason. Alright, the Mountain Kalos decks. I don't know which Pokemon fall into which decks, and I definitely haven't been seeking out particular Pokemon for the Kalos decks. But, apparently that was enough. Now, the real challenge. So it's been a little while since our last battle with her. I think it was, gosh, it was Comerian City? Yeah, it was right before the 4th gym. So I think she's gotten some levels since then. Not a ton, but it's basically, it's 2 gyms distance, and there was a little dungeon in between, so it's not too long, but enough time to get a couple levels. Getting some very good luck on the paralysis there. I'm very glad. And I'll bet a Vol Switch would be a guaranteed KO. There it is, alright. So, who do I want to send in? Robin, it's the lowest level. I don't know what she's going to bring in, so... Ooh, an Absol, alright. I mean, Petra could take out the trash here, but I'm not too worried. Nice, 2 KO on the Flame Charge. I'm always excited when a move other than Fly is a 2 KO. Just because Fly takes a little while longer. And a Delphox. So I think this is the final stage, right? We had Braixen, I don't know, before. But Delphox is a fire psychic type. Which means that I could bring in, again, Petra for a crunch, and that would be good. I think that might be my only super effective option. But, either way, Robin resists all of Delphox's fire moves, so I'm not too worried about those. And apparently, maybe she doesn't have any psychic moves, otherwise she would be using them. And that mystical fire there, I guess, lowers special attack. But because Robin's a physical attacker, it's not a problem. And there we go, not too bad. Serena still has a pretty small team, only 3 Pokemon. So, I don't know, I'm wondering why they keep the team so small so long. I say having 4 Pokemon on my team. There's a fighting dojo? Oh, the fighting dojo in Lumiose. God, that makes sense, because it was marketed as a dance studio. Gosh, synergy. Scary house. Huh. Okay, fine, just leave us behind. Take time out of my busy schedule of beating everyone's butts to spend time with you, and you just leave. Okay. Yeah, here Sean is. She wants to spend time with people. That's kind of her big thing, making relationships and having you know, forming memories with people, and here they are all just kind of charging off alone. In a certain sense, she admires their drive. I'm interested to see how Shauna develops from here, because I think she has the potential to be really interesting. Anyway, playground here. Can we swing? We cannot swing. We can only sit on the swings. Like some kind of brooding loner. So you got this kind of spooky music, you've got an empty playground, you've got the rain. I don't know if it's raining all the time, I don't think it is. But, and a scary house later. So it makes me think they're going for a very particular tone on this route, and I like it. And it's kind of the more fall colors, making us think about colder times and maybe a little bit of death as we move towards winter. I like it. Oh, and yeah, those the bare limbs there definitely making for moody. Other than that, it's a pretty typical route. Oh, and add to the death, we got fallen logs and tree stumps. And we got a swamp, too. Nice. Yeah, I like this area a lot. Stunfisk. Stunfisk is a weirdo that Dana can't actually do anything to. It's an electric ground type. And very, very flat. It's funky. Anyway, let's battle some trainers here. Alright, an Arbok. Cool, cool. I don't have anything great against Arbok, on Dana at least, but see how we do. Actually, I don't have to worry about Glare, as Glare as a paralysis move, but Dana can't be paralyzed, because electric types can't be paralyzed. So that's awesome. I don't know if Arbok would actually have Glare at this point, but something I keep in mind. This stockpile is annoying. At some point it's either going to spit up or swallow. Yep, spit up, alright. Oh wow, I expected a lot more from that actually. And a Pyroar. Pyroar's gonna have a bad time here in the rain. Rain will decrease the power of its fire-type moves, so we won't be able to rely on stab very well. Could use a charm and totally make its takedown basically useless, but that might take longer than I want. And oh, gross. Endeavor's an annoying move. It reduces your opponent's HP down to where your HP is. So if you're a jerk, you might like have a focus sash, so you hold on by 1 hit point and then lower your opponent to 1 hit point. Or if you have a bulky Pokemon that needs to be whittled down, you could use that, kind of annoy it for several turns, and then bring it down. How do I get that? Alright, let's wade through. I want to probably set up a repel. Hey, Quagsire. Run into a lot of ground-type Pokemon here, it looks like. Which is cool and nifty, but annoying for Dana, because I can't get a heal off the Parabolic Charge from them. Alright, let's set up a repel. Alright, and as you might expect, you can't skate in the water. You can skate in the shallow water here, though, but not the kind of ankle-deep water. Now, I think this way is not progress. Yeah, I get stuck occasionally. Okay. Cleanse Tag, neat hold item. If you give it to a Pokemon and put that Pokemon in the front of your party, you can lower the likelihood of wild encounters. It's really useful in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, because you can use it in conjunction with the Dex Nav. It makes Dex Nav and Pokemon a lot easier. I feel like this guy's going through something. He's dealing with something. Anyway, this guy has a Goomy. If you watched my match against Colin after the 5th gym, he had the evolution of Goomy, Sliggoo. Goomy here is a Dragon-type Pokemon. And it does very much like these rainy routes. And you can catch one on this route at roughly the level that this guy has it, maybe a couple levels lower. But if you're interested in a pretty cute dragon that stays cute all the way through, and it's also very powerful, definitely worth looking into. Play rough. What kind of move is that? Okay, so it's a physical fairy move. It's a strong physical fairy move, but it is a physical fairy move. I'll replace Charm, because I don't find myself using Charm very much, and I'll try it out on a couple opponents, but I don't expect it to be very useful. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Dana actually gets any special fairy moves, which sucks. But I'll take the coverage. Alright, here's a Litwick. Litwick's one of my my personal faves from Unova. It's a Fire Ghost, which means play rough is not going to be a good option on this. It'd be bad to try it out here. There's a siren going on outside. It's probably being picked up. And then a Haunter, good old classic ghost poison from Gen 1. God, these things just living by a hair, I don't care for it. Heck, I could finish this thing off with a Nuzzle. Good. Critical Nuzzle, excellent. Exactly what I needed. Yeah, so to add to the spookiness, we have a Hex Maniac there, along with all the dead stuff. Ooh, this is gonna be a great matchup for Dana. You know, if you don't have an electric type or a grass type, this might be a dangerous situation for you, because the rain does power up water type moves, and Poliwhirl is a water type. But I'm just gonna kind of kick its grass. There's a Loudred. Interesting choice for the area. Oh, hey, there's a one-shot. I'll take it. I was gonna Volt Switch out to Petra, but now that's not really necessary. Yeah, Dana's still the lowest. So let's go to Petra anyway. Ooh. Alright, this would have actually been an okay place to try out Play Rough, but oh well. Oh, it's got Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance is a dangerous move to play with. It raises your attack stat and your speed stat one stage. You can see one Dragon Dance rose our speed, its speed again above Petra's. Then it did it again, so I don't have to worry. But if you let it Dragon Dance up and get those stat boosts, it can be a pain in the butt to take down. And if you don't have something to take out Dragon types reliably, you may not have a choice in the matter. Alright, so you can see there's some even deeper water here. That would be a place to surf. I'm not really worrying about the side paths with HM stuff and surfing, and I think there might be cutting and whatnot. I'm not really worried about that. I might come back for him later off screen. Anyway, so I was looking on Bulbapedia for this route in preparation, and this line here is a mistranslation, but it clued me in on something I didn't know. So it's not that Toxic always hits, it's that Toxic, when used by a poison type, always hits, which is new in Gen 6. I was not aware of that, and it's good to know. There's a small child here. Is this progress? I think that might be progress. We'll come back. Oh no, this is cutscene progress. Oh, that's cutscene progress. No, I'm so confused. It looks more like a shack to me. I was expecting a scary mansion. Okay, there's a man. It was a dark and stormy night many years ago. Lost, I arrived at this house and went inside. The lights would not turn on, so I fearfully looked around the house. Eventually I made my way into the kitchen. There was no sign of anyone being there. I found the fridge, and when I opened it, a faint light leaked out, sorry, I misspoke. I could finally make out my surroundings, and I saw the faint outline of a man huddling in the corner of the room. I tried to tell him that I was lost and I was hoping he'd let me stay until morning, but when I approached him, the man suddenly screamed, "Stay back!" I apologized and continued to plead my case. "Please, can't you help me?" "I'm not talking to you," he shouted. I looked at the man in surprise. When I did this, the man asked me, "Can't you see them? Behind you, a horde of faceless men." God, my throat kind of hurts now. I guess that makes sense. Alright, it was okay. But I have a lot of money, so it's okay. So yeah, it's a tourist trap, basically. Alright, was that a memory that you enjoyed making, Shauna? Yeah, I thought so. Ooh, tombstones too. Huh. There's a spell tag. I think that's a hold item that powers up ghost-type moves. Very spooky. Okay, so I wanted to show off cool tricks the next time we found a ledge outside a route, but I'm not sure I have enough room to build up enough speed here. Especially if there's I'll fall into the water there. Oh, there we go. That was a backflip. Backflips are easier to pull off. Basically, you got to initiate a dash, which you can do by doing a quick turn around. And if you do that right by a ledge, you will hop off and do a backflip. The other move we learned in our exploration of Lumio City, the pirouette, a little harder to pull off. I'm not going to try right now. I'll wait for a better time. Alright, so this is a fairy tale girl. I think it's the first of her kind that we found, and these kinds of trainers specialize in fairy types. And, God, is Play Rough neutral on fairy? Is fairy neutral on fairy? I think it is. Hey! That worked better than I expected. Huh. Maybe Cloette's really fragile. And then a Slurpuff. Slurpuff is the evolved form of Swirlix, I think that's what it's called. It's one of the version exclusive fairy types. Heck if I remember which version it's exclusive to, though. Okay, so that's interesting. Parabolic Charge and Play Rough were doing roughly comparable damage. Also, thank goodness it didn't use Endeavor again. That would have sucked. Alright, we got a berry tree. Some Rosalie berry. Not sure what that does. Might grow some and find out. Might not. And another cut tree that I'm not going to bother with. And I think that about wraps up Route 14. Because this is a big path, and I'm guessing this is our way to Lavere City. And indeed it is. Hello, Lavere City. There's a clothing shop. Get hype. Alright, so that takes care of our adventures on Route 14. And in the next episode, we will explore Lavere City and maybe even check out its, spoilers, gym. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.